All right, linear equation graphs, SAT style. The big focus of this video is going to be slope, y-intercepts, and particularly with standard form. Standard form's a little bit trickier than slope-intercept form, so the SAT seems to really like those types. So here we go, let's get after it. Number one, which of the following is the graph of y minus 5x equals -6? So right now it is not in slope-intercept form, so it may be easier to put it in slope-intercept form. So remember, we want to get y all by itself. So I need to get rid of this minus 5x. So I'm going to add 5x to both sides. That's going to give me 5x minus 6. Now it should be pretty easy. We have our y-intercept here at the back. So that's where we cross the y-axis at -6. Looking at the grid, be careful. I noticed that 10 is here, and that's only 5 of the squares. So it looks like every square is worth 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this one crosses good, so that one's a possibility. This one crosses good, crosses good, crosses good. So the intercept didn't help me, so now we're going to have to focus on the slope. So looking at the slope here, a slope of 5, positive 5, means we're going to go up 5 over 1. It's going to be increasing pretty steep from left to right. B is a really great wrong answer. Okay, it's probably the top wrong answer because it looks like it goes up 5 over 1. However, remember, every block is worth 2. So really, it went up 10 over 2. Or, yeah, up 10 over 2. So that one actually is the right answer. What am I doing here? This one goes up 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, but then it goes over 4. All right, up 10 over 4. So that one actually has a slope of 5 halves. This one has a slope of 5 over 1. So the correct answer here is B. All right, let's keep on going. Moving on down. Number 2 should be a pretty easy one, slope-intercept form. Y equals 3x minus 5. What is the slope of the line? Well, it's just whatever's in front of the x. So the correct answer here is C. Moving right along. Number 3, the graph of the line in the xy plane has a positive slope, and it has a point. It intersects the y-axis at a point that has a negative y coordinate. All right, so the key features are positive slope, negative y-intercept. All right, so we're looking at a positive slope and a negative y-intercept. Now, all of these equations over here, they're written in the format ax plus by equals c. And it's easier to see in slope-intercept form. So for all these standard form problems, you're going to want to repackage things around. So you're going to want to get rid of this x term by subtracting it from both sides. And so then you have the y term over here by itself. Your a term is negative, and then your c is still there. And then to finally get into slope-intercept form, you divide everybody by b. Now what this does is this gives us a shortcut, because b divided by b goes away, and now we just have y equals. So you can see that the slope is always going to be the opposite sign of a over b. That's always going to be your slope. And also your y-intercept is always going to be c over b. That's always going to be the y-intercept. So you can cheat these problems pretty fast. There's no need to rewrite all of them. You can do them really quick. So let's look for a positive slope. All right, so here's a. I want the opposite of a over b. All right, well, that has a positive slope. Let's check the next one. Opposite a over b. Now that'll be a negative slope. Opposite of a over b. That one looks good. That's a possibility. And then this one, opposite of a over b. So that one's fine too. So right now we've eliminated b. Now let's check the y-intercept. Let's do c over b. So c over b, well, hey, right there it is. We have a positive slope and we have a negative y-intercept. Let me just check the others just to be sure. that would be a positive y-intercept. That would be a negative y-intercept. And this one would be, well, actually, I could have stopped right in the beginning because only one of them had a positive slope, and that was A. I'll just finish it out. So it looks like the correct answer here is A. I'm going to be using that shortcut over and over and over for these last few problems. So on the next one, it says in the XY plane, line L has a slope of 2. So line L, slope equal to 2. Line K is perpendicular. All right, so remember, to be perpendicular, we got to do two things. We got to have an opposite sign, and we need to be the reciprocal, or the flip of that number. So K, his slope, is going to need to be negative, and the reciprocal for 2 is 1/2. So I'm looking for somebody that's got a slope of 1/2. So here we go. Opposite of A over B. That's the game to find the slope quickly. So opposite of A over B, well, that's a -2. So can't be U. Opposite of A over B, that's a positive 1/2. Close. Opposite A over B, that's a positive 2. Nope. Hopefully this one works. Opposite of A over B, and that's what we're looking for. Boom. Now, if you would have had to rewrite all those, it would take much longer. So this little shortcut speeds things up considerably. Number 5. This one is a little bit tricky because they don't give us any numbers. So this is one of their harder types. But I noticed the format's a little bit different. We have AX plus BY, but instead of C, the B repeats itself. So just kind of think of a situation. Well, and I go to the next clue, it says A and B are constants. That means they're just numbers. And it said A is greater than 0, so we can't have any negatives. And B is bigger than A, so our B term is bigger than A. So just looking at a possibility could be, 2x plus 3y equals 3. Notice that the B it's the same number repeated there. So which could represent the graph of the equation? Well, if I look at my slope is going to be opposite of A over B. And if A is smaller than B, so in my example over here, if I look at this example, it's a -2/3. So that gives me a couple clues. One is I know it's decreasing from left to right. The other thing, because the A number, the top number of the fraction, is smaller, it's going to be flatter than 1. A slope of -1 is a 45-degree angle. This one's going to be a little bit flatter than that. All right, so that's one clue. It's going to be a flat negative. The other clue is when I do my y-intercept, this is a big clue, and I do this over this, B over B, well, that's just going to be 1. Or in my example over here, it would have been 3 over 3. It's still going to be 1. So I'm looking for a y-intercept of 1 and then a slope of negative less than 1. Well, this has a y-intercept of 1, but it has a slope of -1. And that's not going to work because A is supposed to be smaller than B. This one has the wrong intercept, so it can't be B. Let's move on down, see what we got for our other choices. This one has a slope of 1, so or a y-intercept of 1, and then it drops 1 over 2. Drops 1 over 2. That could be, that definitely could work. Now this one here would not work. It has a good intercept, but it drops 2 over 1, has a slope of -2. And we had to be less than 1. So the correct answer there is C. That was a little bit trickier. Number 6, the graph of y equals f of x in the xy plane passes through the point 0, 2. So whenever you give me a solution, 0, 2, that's an x comma y. And that's actually a really important x comma y. Because 0, 2, well, you just gave me the y-intercept. So 2 is the y-intercept. And then we have a slope of 5, so that one should be pretty easy. And remember, these are just y values. Just kind of replace them with y. And looking like right there, slope of 5, y-intercept of 2. Number 7 says the graph of the equation ax plus ky equals 6. So we have ax plus ky, normally that'd be a b, 6 is our c value, is a line in the xy plane. A and k are numbers, constants. If the line contains the points, so they give me 2 points. They give me one x comma y, but then they give me another x comma y, and again, this one is a special one. It's special because it crosses 0, -3 is the y-intercept. So it crosses at -3. So we're trying to find k. We're trying to find this value right here. So ultimately, the ultimate goal to find the value of k is we need to figure out what k by itself is. So we're going to need to repackage some things. Well, let's do a couple things here. I know that to get the y-intercept, c over b is how you find the y-intercept. And they told me that the y-intercept has to be -3. Well, c over our b is 6 over k. So 6 over k has to equal -3. All right? So you might be able to do this in your head. If not, to get rid of that divide by k, I'm going to multiply by k to get rid of it. But I got to do it to the other side. So you have 6 equals -3k. Divide both sides by -3. And it looks like k equals -2. So we really didn't need this point right here. We actually could just use this was huge, using the shortcut of the y-intercept. All right, hopefully that gives you a little bit of help on slopes, y-intercepts, especially in standard form.